Good morning, grade 1 and grade 2 students.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm good.
That's great. I am Miss April Kamba, and today I am going to be your teacher in English. So before we proceed to our lesson and discussion, let us have first a short prayer to be led by Miss Gloria.
Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for ways in which you provide for us all. For your protection and love, we thank you. Help us to focus our hearts and minds now on what we are about to learn. Guide us by your eternal light as we discover more about the world around us. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Miss Gloria. Before you sit, kindly check and pick up all the trashes that you see under your chairs and tables. Thank you. You may now sit. Okay, class. Do we have absentees for today?
None, ma'am.
None? That's great. I think you are all prepared for today's lesson. Okay, so today we are going to discuss a new lesson, which is the elements of short story. But before that, let us have first a quick review about what we discussed yesterday. So again, what was the topic yesterday? Yes, Miss Gloria?
Elements of poem, ma'am.
Elements of poem, right. Again, what are the elements of poem? Yes, Miss Jen?
Diction and rhyme, ma'am.
Diction and rhyme. We have? Yes, Miss
Meter
Gloria?
and verse, ma'am.
Meter and verse. And we also have stanza, rhythm, and many more. So those are the elements of poem. Is that all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are you ready now for a new topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the topic for today is the elements of short story. But before that, let us have first a game. Do you want to play a game?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this game is entitled 4 Pigs, 1 Word. Are you all familiar with that?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you played it once or twice. Okay, so here's the mechanics of the game. I am going to show you a set of pictures and you are going to guess what the picture is all about. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here's the first set. Can you guess the picture? Yes, Miss Jen?
Princess, ma'am.
Princess, very good. Next, can you guess the picture? Miss Gloria?
Palace, ma'am.
Palace or
Castle.
castle, very good. Last picture, we have
A frog.
a frog. So these pictures has something to do with our discussion for today. It is a story for children like you. So given the picture, the princess, the frog, and the castle, can you guess the title of that story? You can give me the title of that story. Yes, Miss Jen?
The Frog Prince.
Very good. That is the story of the Frog Prince. Have you read that story or watched?
No, ma'am.
Not yet? Okay. So later on, we are going to read and tackle this story, the Frog Prince. But first, let us know first or learn the definition and elements of short story. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's start. So in short story, we have 4 elements. And these 4 elements are, kindly read,
Character. Setting. Plot. And theme.
theme. Very good. So in the elements of short story, we have the character, setting, plot, and theme. Now let us have first the character. What do you think character is? You can give me her idea. Yes, Miss Gloria?
Tauhan po.
Yes, character is tauhan in Tagalog. Yes, Miss Jan?
Nasabi na po, ma'am.
Nasabi na? Okay. So, character, this is the person in the story. Sino yung nasa kwento? Or, these are the people involved in the story. Sino-sino yung mga nasa kwento? A character can be a person, it can also be an animal, a natural object, or supernatural object. You can give me her favorite character. Do you have your favorite character? Miss Jen?
Si Doraemon po.
Doraemon. Is Doraemon a person or animal?
Person po.
He is a person in that story.
Opo.
So, he is your favorite. How about Miss Gloria?
Pikachu po.
Pikachu. Is Pikachu a person, an object, or animal?
I don't know, ma'am.
You're not sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Pikachu is your favorite characters. So characters, as I've said, sometimes they are people and animals. And these animal character are commonly found in stories such as in fables o pabula, di ba? We can find them in pabula or non-fiction stories or in stories which is made out of imagination. Tama? Okay. So again, the character is or are the people involved in the story. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let me give you another example for character. We have Cardo Dalisay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In this story, ang probinsyano, he is the main character. He is the person in the story. He is the one moving and thinking in the story. So that is an example of character. Next, we have the setting. So in setting, this is the location or the place where the story happened. Or aside from that, this is also the time or the mood of the place. Where did the story happen? Where did that certain situation in the story takes place? Did it happen inside your house? Did the story happen at the market, at the park, or anywhere? So that is the setting. Or when did the story happen? Evening, afternoon, morning, or what time did the story happen? 3 a.m., 2 p.m., or 1 a.m. in the morning? So that is the setting in the story. What time? Or as I've said a while ago, the mood or the atmosphere of the story, of the place where the story happened. Is the place crowded? Or is the place is just an empty space? Is the place cold or hot? Is it loud or silent in that place? Is it raining? Did the story happen during summer or during rainy season? So that is setting. What time, where, and when the story happened. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us move on to the
Plot.
plot. Okay, so when we say plot, this is the sequence of the story. What is the flow of the story? Okay, what happened in the beginning of the story? What happened in the middle of the story? And what is the ending of the story? Okay, so let me have your idea. Can you give me a story, your favorite story? Miss Gloria, can you give me your favorite story? Any story that you have read or watched?
Ang alamat po ng pinya.
Okay, so in the story, ang alamat of Pinya, what is the beginning of the story? Okay, it is when
Si Pina po at saka yung nanay niya.
yes, si Pina and her nanay. So the
Tapos
beginning
po,
Okay.
ano po, tamad po si Pina.
Okay, so that is an example of the beginning of the story. How did the story started? And also the middle and ending of the story. So in plot, we also have the elements. There are 5 elements in plot. This includes This includes the introduction, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. So first, let us have the introduction in the plot. So introduction, as I've said a while ago, we are going to meet here who are the characters, what are their roles in the story, and we are going to what? In introduction, it begins to show to us the conflict of the story. Now, next we have the rising action. So, in rising action, finally the conflict or the problem will be starting in the story. So, it will show to us what will be the problem or conflict in the story. And in climax, this is the middle of the story. This is the most exciting part because the characters are now going to face the problem. And mapapaisip tayo, ano kaya yung gagawin ng character? What will be her or his solution for that problem? So that is the climax. Doon tayo pinaka na-excited sa mga pangyayari. And we have the falling action. Sa falling action, there will be resolving of conflicts. Finally, the character will resolve the problem with his plan or solution kung paano ba niya isi-solve yung problem na yun. And finally, we have the resolution or the ending of the story. In ending, of course, we will have ano kayang mangyayari sa dulo ng kwento. Will that story have a happy ending? Or at the end of the story, did someone die? So those are the questions to be answered at the end of the story. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, what are the elements of plot? Introduction,
Rising
rising action,
climax, falling action,
and the resolution. Okay, for the last element, we have theme. Okay, what do you think theme is all about? Do you have any idea? Okay, so when we say theme, this is the message of the story. What is the story all about? What is the message of the story? Or what is the lesson that we are going to get from the story? Again, can you give me your favorite story? Jen, do you have your favorite short story? O pabula, kwentong hayop?
Yung kwento, yung asong nahulog yung buto sa ilog.
Yung asong nahulog ang buto sa ilog. Okay, so what do you think is the lesson of the story? What did you get from the story? What lesson did you get from the story?
Huwag po masyadong mayabang.
Huwag tayong masyadong mayabang. And that is the theme of the story. Huwag tayong masyadong mayabang. Yun yung message ng story na gustong sabihin sa atin. The central message. Lahat ng kwento, all of stories, even the short or long stories, there is always a theme kung saan iikot yung buong kwento. That will be the lesson that your viewers or readers will get from the story. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Maliwanag na ba?
Apo.
Again, what are the elements of short story? We have
Character.
characters or the people involved in the story. Setting?
Kung saan naganap yung story.
Yes, where did the story happen or what time? Third, we have the
Plot.
plot or the sequence of the story. The beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. And last one,
The theme po.
the theme of the story. So these are the elements of short stories. Now let us move on to the story of the Frog Prince. Have you ever watched or read this story?
No, ma'am.
Not yet. Now we are going to read this story and please take down notes to the elements, to the setting, to the plot and theme of the story that you will encounter while reading the story. So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who will volunteer to read the story? Do you want to volunteer, Miss Gloria? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please stand and read the story? Come here in front. You can now start, Miss Gloria.
The Frog Prince. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess in a big castle. One day, her father, the king, gave her a golden ball as a birthday present. One evening, She went out with her ball and started to play with it. While she was tossing the ball in the garden near the pond, it fell into the pond and sank it to deep waters.
Okay.
The princess sat next to the pond and started to cry. Suddenly, she heard the voice, "Ribbit, my beautiful princess, why are you crying?" Ribbit. She looked around and saw a frog.
So, frog.
The
Okay.
princess told the frog about the ball. The frog came next to her feet and made an offer. "Maybe I will bring back the ball, but in return, I will need you to do me a favor," she asked. What's the favor?" the frog said. "If you accept me as your friend and allow me to live with you in your castle, I will get your ball." The princess thought about it and accepted the offer.
Mhm.
So the frog jumped into the water and brought the golden ball and threw it to the princess.
Okay. Pause muna tayo. Again, who are the characters in the story? Sino yung mga characters? Story. Na nabanggit.
The frog,
The frog and the
princess,
princess. What did the king give to the princess? As a present.
a golden ball.
A
ma'am.
golden ball. And what did the princess do? He played outside with her ball, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please continue, Miss Gloria.
The princess took the ball and started to walk back to the castle. The frog asked about its promise. "How can an ugly frog like you even imagine living with a beautiful princess like me?" said the princess, and walked back to the castle. In the night, the princess sat down at the dinner table with the king and the queen. When they were about to eat, the maid told them that a frog had arrived and told them that he was invited by the princess and asked permission to come in. The princess told everything that happened to the king, and the king said that she should keep her promise and ordered maid to welcome the frog inside.
Thank you, Miss Gloria. Please continue, Miss Jen. Kindly stand.
The frog came and sat next to the princess' plate, and it started to eat from her plate. After the dinner, the frog followed the princess to her bedroom and demanded to sleep next to her in the bed. Afraid to upset her father, the princess had to say yes. The frog jumped to the bed and slept next to the princess.
Next.
Next morning, the frog waked the princess up and said he has another wish. If she does it, he will leave her. The princess was happy and asked, "What is the wish?" The frog said, "I want you to kiss me, my princess." The princess was shocked. Then she thought, it's just a kiss, and evidently she won't see him ever again. And so she gave him a kiss. As soon as she kissed the frog, a bright white light covered the room. A while later, she saw a handsome prince standing in front of her. She could not believe her eyes, and so she asked, "Who are you? What happened to the frog?" The prince said, "My beautiful princess, I am the prince of a land far away. The evil witch cast a spell on me and turned me into frog. To break the spell, I have to spend one night next to the princess and get a kiss from her." Both went to the king and explained everything. The prince asked the princess to marry her. They got married and happily ever after.
Thank you, Miss Jen. It's a beautiful story, right? Did you understand the story?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the story is about
The frog prince.
the frog prince and the princess. Okay, now let us discuss the elements of short story from the story The Frog Prince. Okay, so now we are going to identify the elements. Again, what are the elements? We have character,
setting, plot,
and
Theme.
theme. Okay, now we are going to identify who are the characters in the story The Frog Prince. What are the setting, or where did the story happen? What is the plot? The beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story, and the theme of the story. Okay, let's start. Okay, so in the story The Frog Prince, who are the characters in the story? Can you give me one character in the story? Yes, Miss Gloria.
The frog, ma'am.
The frog. Okay, very good. Can you put here in the chart the frog? Okay, very good. So the frog is one of the main characters in the story. Next, who else? Yes, Miss Jen.
the princess,
The princess. Now, can you stand and put the princess in the chart? Okay, very good. The princess. Who else? Who are the characters in the story? There's still two characters here. Okay, Miss Gloria.
The king, ma'am.
The king. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And last one,
The maid po.
the maid. Very good. Kindly put it here. Okay, can you read the characters in the story? Who are the characters?
Frog, princess, king, and the maid.
Okay, so these three, frog, princess, and the king, these are the main characters in the story. And the maid is not the main character, but she is still in the story, so she is included as a character. Next, we have the setting of the story. Kindly put the setting.
Here, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Again, what is the setting? What is setting?
Where did the story happen?
Very good. Where did the story happen? So, where do you think the story happened? The first part of the story.
in the castle mo.
In the castle. Very good. Kindly put. What happened in the castle?
Birthday ng princess.
Yes, it's the princess' birthday, and her father gave her a present, which is a
Golden ball.
golden ball. Very good. Next, what are the other setting in the story?
Garden, ma'am.
In the garden. Kindly put. So what happened in the garden? She played with her ball, right?
Yes.
And what happened to her ball?
Nahulog po sa
Napunta po dun sa pond.
Sa pan. Nahulog sa pan. Siya ba yung kumuha ng ball?
Hindi po. Hindi niya po makuha.
Hindi niya makuha. So, can you remember what time did the princess went to the pond and play with the ball? Is it morning?
Yes.
Is it morning or evening?
Evening.
Evening, very good. Because it is said in the second part of the story that one evening she went to the garden
Yes.
and played with her ball. Okay, so can you read the setting again? The story
Setting.
happened in the
Palace and in the garden.
very good. Next, What is the third element of the short story? Yeah.
The plot
The
ma'am.
plot. Kindly put the plot. Okay. So in plot, again, we have the introduction. Kindly put. Okay. So what happened
Where did I put
in the
this?
beginning of the story? What is the introduction of the story?
It's the birthday
Yes, the birthday.
of
The
the
in-
princess.
Yes, the birthday of the princess. The introduction of the story started when the princess or the king gave the princess a birthday present, which is a golden ball. And what did she do? She went outside and played with her ball, and her ball sank into the pond, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what happened next? She can't get her ball, right? And she
Opo.
can't do anything about it. So, a frog came to her and offered her a help.
Yes, ma'am.
Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Sabi nung frog, I am going to get your ball, but in replace, I will be going to be your friend. So that is the introduction of the story. Nakilala natin sino ba yung mga character, ano yung role nila, at napasimulan kung ano yung conflict ng story. Okay, pumayag ba yung princess sa offer ng frog? Pumayag siya, di ba?
Yes.
She said yes. Okay, you get my ball and I am going to be your friend. Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is the rising action. What happened next? Do you have any idea? Okay, so the rising action, the conflict started. The princess said yes to the offer of the frog, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Pero ginawa ba niya? Tinupad ba niya yung pangako niya? Hindi. She refused to be the frog's friend. After the frog took her ball and gave it back to her, bumalik na siya sa palace, di ba?
Yes.
Hindi niya tinupad yung pangako. So, nag-start na dun yung conflict. Hindi niya tinupad yung pangako ng frog. Okay. Next is the climax. What is the middle of the story?
Pumunta pa rin yung frog.
Pumunta yung frog sa
palasyo.
Yes, the frog show up in the palace. That is the climax of the story. Diba? Dun sa part na yon, nai-excite na tayo because we don't know what will happen next.
Yes.
Right? So that is the middle of the story. The frog came to the palace and told the king what happened in the garden. And what did the king said?
Pinapasok niya po yung frog
Yes, pinapasok niya yung frog. At ano yung sinabi niya sa princess?
na kailangan niya pong tuparin kung ano yung
Yes, very good. The king said that the princess should do her promise. Dapat tinutupad niya yung pangako niya yun. And that promise is, dapat maging magkaibigan sila. Dapat. Tama?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the climax of the story. May nagawa ba yung prinsesa doon?
Wala po.
Wala siyang nagawa. The only thing that she could do that time is to follow the king's order or her father's order.
Yes.
Tama? Okay.
Yes.
So, in the climax, she let the frog enter the castle. She let the frog eat with them, and she let the frog sleep with her. Okay. So, here comes the following action. Here comes the resolution of, here comes the following action of the story wherein the conflict are going to resolve. Okay. So, again, what was the conflict? The conflict was when the princess did not
Follow
or did not do her promise. Right? Okay. So, in following action, what happened? The frog asked her for the last one favor.
Yes.
Okay? Para ma-resolve na yung problema nila. One favor, and after that, hindi na siya magpapakita sa princess. He said, tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is that favor? Favor?
To kiss.
To kiss him. Pumayag ba yung prinsesa?
Yes po.
Yes.
Para layuan na siya ng frog.
Yes, pumayag yung princess. It's just a kiss, sabi niya. So, papayag ako. And after that, mawawala na yung frog. Hindi ko na siya makikita.
Yes.
Kasi ayaw talaga niya yung frog. Sino ba naman ang may gustong katabi ng frog, di ba?
Yes
Okay,
po.
so that is the falling action of the story. The princess then said yes for the last one favor of the frog, which is to kiss him. Para matapos na. And for the resolution of the story, what is the ending of the story? After she kissed the frog, what happened?
Nagliwanag yung kwarto.
Nagliwalag yung kwarto.
Ay, umilaw-ilaw daw po.
Okay, so the resolution or ending of the story is that the frog
It turns to
Naging, ano po siya?
naging prince. The frog turned into a handsome prince nung hinalikan siya ng princess. Bakit daw?
Kasi po isinumpa siya ng witch.
Yes, she got spelled by a witch, kaya siya naging frog.
Frog.
And the only way out from that spell is a kiss from a princess.
Yes.
At nung hinalikan siya ng princess, nagbago na yung itsura niya. And what happened next?
Kinasal na po sila.
Nagpakasal na sila. So that is the ending of the story or the resolution of the story. Did the story end with the happy ending?
Yes,
Happy
ma'am.
ba yung ending nila?
Yes, ma'am.
Wala bang namatay sa kwento?
Wala po.
Okay, so again, the plot, can you read?
Introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution.
Okay, is that all clear? Do you have questions?
None, ma'am.
None? Naintindihan niyo ba yung plot or sequence ng pagkakasunod-sunod ng kwentong The Frog Prince?
Yes,
Apo.
ma'am.
Okay, for the last element, we have
Theme.
theme. Again, what is the theme? What is theme?
The message of
Message
the
po.
story.
Okay. So we have here two themes. Can you give me your idea? What is the message of the story? What is the lesson of the story? What is the story all about? Do you have any idea?
Be friendly.
About?
Be friendly.
Be friendly. Yes. Another, can you give me more?
Kailangan kong paparin yung pinangako po.
Yes, very good. You have to keep your promises. Kasi yun ang tama. Kapag nagsabi tayo ng pangako sa isang tao, we should keep it and do it. Tama?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so one of the theme of the story The Frog Prince is, can you read?
Keeping your promises.
Keeping your promises. Okay?
Here, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, very good. Another? Do you have other theme?
Magmahalan po.
Magmahalan, yes, or love. Very good. Okay, so these are the theme of the story. The story The Frog Prince is about keeping your promise and loving your fellows. Hindi dapat tayo gumagawa ng masama sa kapwa natin. So kindly read again the theme.
Keeping your promises and love.
Okay, very good. So these are the elements of short story in the story The Frog Prince. Do you have questions?
None, ma'am.
Are you ready to have your activity?
Yes,
Opo.
ma'am.
Okay. So I think you are all now prepared. Now for your quick activity, okay. So for grade 1, kindly pick. Grade 1, kindly pick your quick activity. Okay, let me read your instruction. Okay. So here's the instruction. Color the shape that has the correct answer. Okay? Kindly pass it to your classmate. Your classmate. Thank you. For grade 2, can you get your activity? Okay. Let me read the instruction. Okay. Fill the box with the answers being asked. So here you have to put the characters, the setting, the theme, and the plot in the story. This includes the beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. Kindly pass it to your classmate. Okay? Here is the color. Kindly pass it to your classmate and the pen. Okay, so you have to answer that as fast as you can. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do it now. So are you done, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, kindly pass your paper here in front. Let us see your answers. Thank you. Okay, I think you really understand the story of the Frog Prince. Now let's see if you can remember, if you still remember, the elements of short story that we discussed a while ago. So here is another set of questions and I want you to answer them here in the paper. Okay, kindly get your activity, grade 1 students. Kindly pass it to your classmates. That one, you answer this one. Okay. In grade 2, kindly get your activity. Okay, pass it to your classmates. Okay, so if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay, for grade 1, I want you to pass your paper here at my right side. Thank you. For grade 2 students, pass your paper here in my left side. Okay, let's wait for them. Okay, thank you. Do you have questions, clarifications?
None, ma'am.
Do you understand the lesson for today?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, what was the topic?
Elements of the
Of short
story.
Okay, let us have a quick review. The elements of short story, we have the character, setting, plot, and
Theme.
Theme, okay. You can give me a brief explanation about character. What is character again?
Character is the
Yes, Miss Gloria?
persons who are involved in that story, ma'am.
Very good. Characters are the people or person involved in the story. How about setting? Yes, Miss Jen?
The setting is when did it happen?
The setting is when did the story happen? Yes, very good. Or where did the story takes place? Okay, next is the plot. Who can give me a brief explanation about plot? Yes, Miss Jen?
The
Again?
sequence of the short story.
Very good. This is the sequence of short story. And what are the elements of plots?
Introduction.
Yes, introduction.
Rising action.
Mm-hmm.
Climax. Falling action. And the
Resolution or the ending of the story. Very good. How about the theme? What is the theme?
the message of the story.
The message of the story, the central message, the lesson from the story, right? Do you have questions?
None, ma'am.
None? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Naiintindihan nyo na lahat?
Opo.
Okay. So, okay, let's see if you really understand the lesson for today, which is the elements of short story. Are you ready for a quiz?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure? Are you ready for a quiz?
Opo.
Okay. Kindly move your seat 1 seat apart. For grade 1, you move your seat to the right side, and for grade 2, to the left side. Okay? So here's the instruction. First, for grade 1 students, listen guys, class. Okay, so bring out a piece of paper and your pen. Okay, are you seeing these pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these pictures is from the story The Frog Prince, right? Okay, we have the beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. Okay, with your paper, you write down a brief explanation about this picture that happened in the story. What is this picture all about? What is happening here in the picture? Next, yes, Miss Gloria. You have question?
None, ma'am.
Okay. And this picture, what is the picture all about? What do you see in the picture? Ano nangyayari sa picture? And this picture also. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So, for grade 1, you just have to write down three brief explanation about these pictures. Yes, Miss Jen?
Pwede pong Tagalog?
Kung hindi na talaga kaya, yes, you may write it in Tagalog, but if you can still explain it in English, I am here to guide you. You just have to ask me. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So for grade 2, here is your quiz. Let me read the instruction. Analyze the pictures and arrange in the proper order the following events taken from the story The Frog Prince. Okay, you just have to number them from 1 to 8. Again, we have the element plot, right? And in plot,
Yes,
we have
ma'am.
the introduction, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. So now you have to arrange the events here. What happened first? Okay, you put the numbers from 1 to 8. Okay? For the beginning, you put the number 1. What happened next? You put the number 2. And next, number 3, and so on and so forth. Understood? Do you have question?
None, ma'am.
You pass it to your classmate.
Thank you, ma'am.
How about the other grade 1 students? Are you all done? Okay, very good. Okay, I think you really understand the lesson for today, which are the elements of short story. And I hope na hindi nyo makakalimutan yung mga yon dahil it's very important for you to know what are the elements in the short story and not just reading the story. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any question about the elements?
None, ma'am.
Hindi ba kayo na-confuse or nalito?
Hindi naman po.
Grade 1 students?
Hindi po.
How about the grade 2 students?
Hindi po.
Okay, that's great. Now, here is your assignment to be passed tomorrow. Kindly bring out a piece of paper and write down your assignment. And after that, I'm going to explain the instructions for your assignment. Okay? While writing, let me explain to you your assignment for grade 1. Here is your assignment. Ask your mother or anyone from the family about their favorite short story. And after that, let them narrate the story and listen carefully. Write down the characters, where the story happened, and what is the story all about. And tomorrow, you are going to share to the class your assignment. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Grade 1 students.
Apo.
Okay, you ask your mom, okay, or your guardian about their favorite short story. And you also have to write down the lesson that you get from the story, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
For grade 2, here is your assignment. Kindly write it down on your paper. Okay. Read the story about the ugly duckling. Have you read the story about the ugly duckling or watch? No?
Pa po.
Hindi pa? Okay, and after that, you analyze and write down the different elements found in the story. The character, the setting, the plot, and the theme. Okay, so you can use this table. You just have to draw it para hindi na kayo mahirapan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you read, okay, the story of Ugly Duckling. I will give to you a copy of that story, and you are going to read it at home, and you write down the elements of short story. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have any question?
None, ma'am.
None? Okay. Before we end our class for today, let us all stand first and have a short prayer before we end our class. Lord, thank you for guiding us today, for all the knowledge you have given to us, and the time we use to learn again and gain more knowledge. Thank you and guide us all today, tomorrow, and for the next days. Thank you, Lord. Amen. May all sit. Okay, thank you class for listening today. I hope that you learned a lot, and you keep in mind all the lesson we have discussed. Okay? Goodbye and God bless.
Bye, ma'am.